Echoes of Lost Civilizations, a reimagined exploration of ancient mysteries crafted to ensure originality while adhering to copyright guidelines. Immerse yourself in this journey through time and share your thoughts. Which civilization intrigued you most? Discover Secrets of the Ancients on Amazon for more captivating tales with stunning visuals. Follow Echoes of Antiquity on Spotify or Apple, rate it, and share your own historical reflections at Echoes of Antiquity. Net. Coming soon, more enigmatic stories and forgotten legacies. Thank you for joining us, ancestral Puebloans of the Southwest. In the arid canyons of the Four Corners region where Utah, Arizona, Colorado, and New Mexico converge, the ancestral Puebloans thrived from around 2000 BCE. Transitioning from nomads to farmers, they mastered desert agriculture, growing corn, beans, and squash with irrigation and floodplain methods. By 750 CE, they built sandstone and adobe villages, evolving into multi-story cliff dwellings like Chaco Canyon's Pueblo Bonito, 1150 CE, aligned with celestial cycles. These hubs, linked by roads, showcased trade, cacao, turquoise, astronomy, and sacred kivas, circular underground chambers for rituals. By the late 1200s, drought, resource strain, or conflict led to their departure, though their descendants, the Hopi and Zuni, maintained ties to sites like Mesa Verde's Cliff Palace, where 150 rooms and 20 kivas whisper of a resilient, resourceful culture. Chachapoya. The Cloud People high in Peru's Andes, the Chachapoya, or Cloud People, flourished from around 800 CE in misty, rugged forests. Unlike the Inca, they formed a decentralized network of hilltop settlements, with Quilap, a stone fortress at 3,000 meters housing over 400 circular buildings behind 60-foot defensive walls adorned with zigzag friezes. Resisting Inca rule in the 15th century, they briefly allied with the Spanish in the 1530s, only to be decimated by diseases like smallpox. Their burial practices stand out. Mummies in cliffside sarcophagi, like Karajia's 2-meter-tall figures, or stone chulpas, positioned to watch over the living. Their language and myths lost, the Chachapoya's stone ruins and eerie tombs still echo through the misty ridges, blending into the forest. Olmec, Mesoamerica's enigma. The Olmec, emerging around 1500 BCE along Mexico's Gulf Coast, are often called Mesoamerica's mother culture. In humid floodplains, they built ceremonial centers like San Lorenzo and La Venta, featuring colossal basalt heads some 3 meters tall, weighing 20 tons carved with unknown significance. La Venta, thriving after San Lorenzo's 900 BCE decline, boasts early pyramids and jade offerings. Olmec art, with jaguar human motifs, hints at shamanic beliefs, while symbols on artifacts like the Cascajal block suggest proto-writing, though undeciphered. By 400 BCE, their centers faded, possibly due to environmental shifts or conflict. Yet their influence shaped the Maya and Aztecs through shared cosmology, art, and calendar systems, leaving a legacy of mystery and stone. Clovis culture. Prehistoric pioneers. The Clovis people, active 13,000 years ago at the end of the Ice Age, left their mark across North America with distinctive fluted spear points found from Montana to Florida. Hunter-gatherers, they tracked megafauna like mammoths and mastodons using stone tools and transient shelters. Discovered in the 1930s at Blackwater Draw, New Mexico, their tools proved humans lived in the Americas earlier than thought, alongside extinct beasts. Hittite Empire, rediscovered glory. In central Anatolia, modern Turkey, the Hittites built a Bronze Age empire circa 1600–1200 BCE, rivaling Egypt and Babylon. Their capital, Hattusa, featured 6-kilometer walls, lion-flanked gates, and the Yazilikaya sanctuary with deity reliefs. Indo-European speakers, they wrote in cuneiform and hieroglyphic Luwian, leaving clay tablets of treaties, myths, and laws rediscovered in the early 20th century after being forgotten for 3,000 years. Known for the 1274 BCE Kadesh Treaty with Egypt, the oldest peace accord, and advanced chariots, They fell during the Bronze Age collapse around 1200 BCE. Hattusa's ruins and tablets now speak of a once mighty empire, blending rediscovery with lingering enigma. Khmer Empire, Angkor's majesty. From the 9th century CE, the Khmer Empire dominated Southeast Asia, spanning modern Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam. In a monsoon-fed landscape, they engineered vast irrigation systems, supporting rice cultivation, and a population of perhaps 1 million at Angkor. Angkor Wat, built in the 12th century by Suryavarman II, spans 400 acres with Vishnu-dedicated towers mimicking Mount Meru, its reliefs depicting myths and battles. Angkor Thom's Bayon, with its serene stone faces, blends divine and daily life in carvings. LiDAR scans reveal a sprawling network of canals and reservoirs, showcasing their mastery over water and land, a testament to cosmic and earthly ambition. Legacy of ancient societies. A reimagined exploration of ancient legacies, crafted to ensure originality while adhering to copyright guidelines. Engage with this journey through time and share your thoughts. Which society captivated you most? Discover Whispers of History on Amazon for more vivid narratives with striking imagery. Follow Chronicles of the Past on Spotify or Apple. Rate it and share your historical insights at chroniclesofthepast.net. Coming soon, more untold tales and enduring mysteries. Thank you for joining us. Khmer Empire, life beyond temples. The Khmer Empire, thriving from the 9th century CE in modern Cambodia, blended spirituality and practicality. Alongside grand temples like Angkor Wat, villages thrived along canals, farmers cultivated flooded fields, and traders navigated inland waterways. Artisans shaped pottery, metalwork, and sculptures, while a stratified society with kings and priests relied on organized labor, hinted at by temple inscriptions of land grants and taxes. Religion evolved from Hinduism to Mahayana and Theravada Buddhism, influencing Cambodia today. By the 14th–15th centuries, Angkor's decline stemmed from shifting trade routes, environmental challenges like drought or sediment, and invasions from Siam. Though overtaken by forest, local communities preserved the temples, rediscovered by 19th century explorers. Today, Ta Proham's tree-entwined ruins and Angkor Wat's carvings pulse with life, reflecting a civilization that adapted and endured. Wari civilization, Andean pioneers. The Wari flourished in Peru's highlands, 500–1000 CE, predating the Inca by centuries. Mycenaean civilization, Bronze Age innovators. The Mycenaeans, 1600–1100 BCE, shaped early Greece from citadels like Mycenae, with its iconic Lion Gate and Pylos. Writing in Linear B for palace records, they traded across the Mediterranean, absorbing Minoan influences in art and script. Palaces, with central megarons and frescoes of marine life, doubled as administrative hubs. Religion honored gods like Zeus, blended with local deities in rituals at sanctuaries. Around 1200 BCE, a Bronze Age collapse, possibly from climate shifts, invasions, or internal strife, destroyed their palaces, ushering in a dark age. Yet their legacy lived on in Greek mythology and architecture, with sites like Mycenae's Tholos tombs, evoking a world of warriors and scribes, bridging fact and legend. Guanche people, island enigma. The Guanches inhabited the Canary Islands for over a millennium, isolated off North Africa. Living in volcanic caves and building stepped pyramids, they herded goats and cultivated crops with obsidian tools, managing water in stone cisterns. Their mummification, preserving bodies in caves with animal skins, suggests a spiritual afterlife belief. Likely Berber descendants, their language faded post-Spanish conquest, 15th century, which brought disease and enslavement. Fragments, mummies, place names, and genetics endure, with modern efforts reviving their heritage. Standing on Tenerife's ridges, their silent presence in the landscape hints at a resilient, nature-harmonized society, lost yet remembered. Nabatean Kingdom, Desert Masters. The Nabateans thrived, 4th century BCE, 1st century CE, in southern Jordan, with Petra as their heart. Masters of trade, they moved frankincense and silk through desert routes, carving tombs and temples into sandstone cliffs like Al-Khazneh. Ingenious water systems, channels, dams, and reservoirs sustained Petra amid scarce rain. Their Aramaic inscriptions and eclectic architecture reflect cultural synthesis. Annexed by Rome in 106 CE, Petra faded with shifting trade and earthquakes. Rediscovered in 1812 by Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, its rose-hued ruins still whisper of a civilization that thrived on commerce and adaptation in a harsh land. Indus Valley Civilization, Urban Pioneers. The Indus Valley Civilization, 2600–1900 BCE, spanned modern Pakistan and northwest India, with cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro showcasing grid layouts and standardized fired bricks. Advanced sanitation drains, wells, and the Great Bath reflected civic care, while Lothal's tidal dockyard hinted at maritime skill. Trade with Mesopotamia and undeciphered seals suggest literacy and connectivity. Agriculture thrived with flood-fed crops, yet by 1900 BCE, river shifts and aridity likely spurred decline. Rediscovered in the 1920s, its orderly ruins lacking royal monuments evoke a society of function and community, its silent legacy still unfolding. Mississippian culture, earth builders. The Mississippian culture, circa 800–1600 CE, spanned the southeastern and midwestern U.S., building earthen mounds like Cahokia's Monk's Mound. Without writing, they thrived on trade and ceremony, cultivating maize and connecting via rivers. Their society, possibly hierarchical, faded by the 16th century due to disease and disruption from European contact. Ruins, including platform mounds, hint at a complex earth-crafted world, rivaling European cities in scale, its story etched in soil and memory. Echoes of ancient cultures. A reimagined journey through ancient legacies, crafted to ensure originality while respecting copyright guidelines. Reflect on this exploration and share your thoughts. Which culture resonates with you? Discover Voices of the Past on Amazon for more vivid tales with compelling visuals. Follow Tales Through Time on Spotify or Apple, rate it, and share your insights at talesthroughtime.net. Coming soon, more hidden histories and enduring enigmas. Thank you for joining us. Mississippian Tradition, Earth Shapers. Emerging around 800 CE and peaking between 1000 and 1350 CE, the Mississippian tradition spanned the southeastern and midwestern U.S., leaving hundreds of earthen mounds as a testament to its reach. Unlike stone cities, they crafted platforms from soil and wood, built basket by basket over generations, serving as bases for temples, meeting halls, and sacred sites. These mounds, from modest rises to pyramid-like structures, reflected both utility and cosmology, requiring significant coordination without draft animals or wheels. Cahokia, near modern St. Louis, stood as the largest center, possibly housing 20,000 people by 1100 CE, with Monk's Mound a 10-story, 14-acre structure once topped by a wooden edifice, likely a temple. Plazas, homes, and wood henges aligned with solar events showcased a planned layout blending science and spirituality. Connected by trade routes, sites like Etowah and Moundville exchanged copper, shells, and ceramics, their art featuring winged figures and serpents hinting at a rich mythology. Agriculture sustained them with corn and squash, yet by the 14th century, environmental strain, climate shifts, and social pressures led to decline. Descendants, including the Choctaw, carry forward their heritage, with mounds like Cahokia's still whispering through the landscape of a society that thrived in silence. Elamite civilization, highland resilience. The Elamites rose over 4,000 years ago in southwestern Iran, from the Zagros Mountains to the Persian Gulf, with Susa as their enduring center since 4200 BCE. Spanning 2700–539 BCE, they navigated a history of rivalry with Sumer and Assyria, maintaining a distinct identity with a unique, undeciphered language. Their architecture, using sun-dried brick, featured functional temples for gods like Inshushinak, with burial practices honoring ancestors. Skilled in bronze and iron, their economy thrived on agriculture and trade. A peak under kings like Untash-Napirisha, 1500–1000 BCE, saw the Choga Zanbil ziggurat rise, blending local and Mesopotamian styles. Assyrian conquest in 647 BCE by Ashurbanipal sacked Susa, yet Elamite influence persisted in Achaemenid administration. Rediscovered in the 19th century, their ruins Susa and Choga Zanbil echo a culture of quiet endurance amid shifting powers. Nok culture, clay innovators. The Nok culture, emerging between 1500 BCE and 300 CE in central Nigeria's Jos Plateau, revealed itself in the 1920s through terracotta figures unearthed during tin mining. These expressive sculptures, human forms with elongated features and intricate details, showcase advanced craftsmanship, likely tied to rituals or status. Pioneers in iron smelting by 1000 BCE, they enhanced agriculture with tools for millet and sorghum, supporting small, dispersed villages. Without stone monuments, their legacy lies in clay and iron fragments, hinting at social complexity. Fading around 300 CE, possibly due to environmental shifts or evolution into later cultures like the Yoruba, their artifacts, now protected, continue to unravel a story of early West African ingenuity. Minoan civilization, sea harmonizers. The Minoans flourished on Crete from 3000 BCE, peaking 1450 BCE, with influence reaching Thera. Skilled sailors, they traded wine and pottery across the Mediterranean, building airy homes with courtyards and advanced plumbing. Palaces like Knossos, with winding corridors and frescoes of dolphins and bull leaping, served as cultural hubs, reflecting a society valuing art over militarism. Their undeciphered linear A script and goddess-centered religion, marked by double axes and bull horns, suggest a spiritual life tied to nature. The Thera eruption, 1600 BCE, disrupted their world, and by 1450 BCE, Mycenaean influence overtook them. Rediscovered by Arthur Evans, Knossos ruins today evoke a graceful, peaceful legacy. Sogdian network, Silk Road weavers. The Sogdians thrived in Central Asia, 6th century BCE, 8th century CE, centered in Sogdiana, modern Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, with cities like Samarkand as trade hubs. Masters of the Silk Road, they moved silk and spices, blending Persian, Indian, and Chinese influences in art and religion. Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, and Christianity coexisted. Their language, Sogdian, facilitated diplomacy across continents. Flexible under empires like the Achaemenids and Tang, their culture faded with Islamic expansion post-751 CE. Their legacy persists in Central Asian cities and trade networks, a quiet bridge between worlds. Muisca Confederation, Andean craftsmakers. The Muisca flourished on Colombia's Altiplano Cundiboyacense, a high plateau, from centuries before Spanish contact in the 16th century. Organized into chiefdoms led by the Zipa and Zak, they farmed terraces with maize and mined salt, a key trade good. Renowned for goldwork pendants and masks with spiritual significance, they inspired the El Dorado legend at Lake Guatavita. Their society, without a central empire, thrived on trade and ritual until Spanish conquest disrupted it. Their legacy endures in Colombia's cultural fabric. Whispers of Lost Worlds, a reimagined journey through ancient legacies, crafted to ensure originality while adhering to copyright guidelines. Reflect on this exploration and share your thoughts. Which civilization intrigues you most? Discover Echoes of Antiquity on Amazon for more vivid stories with captivating imagery. Follow Timeless Trails on Spotify or Apple. Rate it and share your insights at Timeless Trails. Net. Coming soon, more untold narratives and enduring mysteries. Thank you for joining us. Muisca Federation, Guardians of the Sacred Lake. The Muisca thrived on Colombia's Altiplano Cundiboyacense, a high plateau encircled by Andes peaks, from centuries before Spanish arrival in the 1500s. Organized into a confederation of chieftains, led by the Zipa in the south and Zak in the north, they cultivated terraces with maize and quinoa, mining salt as a vital trade commodity. Their gold-work, delicate pendants and masks held spiritual weight tied to sun worship. A famed ritual at Lake Guatavita, where a leader offered treasures to deities, inspired the El Dorado myth, symbolizing a bridge between earthly and divine realms. Their lunisolar calendar guided farming and rituals, reflecting a profound connection to celestial rhythms. Trade networks exchanged emeralds and textiles, leaving behind Guaca's elite burial mounds with offerings. Spanish conquest in 1537, followed by disease and colonization, disrupted their way of life, yet Muisca descendants revive their heritage today. Lake Guatavita's shimmer and unearthed gold artifacts whisper of a culture shaped by ceremony and resilience. Scythian nomads, steppes of spirit. Emerging around 900 BCE, the Scythians roamed the vast Eurasian steppes from the Black Sea to Mongolia, thriving on mobility with horses and herds. Masters of mounted archery, they dominated without fixed cities, leaving Kurgan's burial mounds filled with gold jewelry and sacrificed horses as their legacy. Their art, featuring dynamic animal motifs, reflected a nature-based spirituality. Preserved in permafrost, their tattoos and felt garments reveal a sophisticated, egalitarian society where women held status, possibly as warriors. Trading with Greeks and Persians, they influenced regional cultures until displaced by Sarmatians and settled powers by the 3rd century BCE. Their story, carried in song and steppe winds, endures as a testament to a life of movement and artistry. Nuragic people, stone sentinels. The Nuragic civilization flourished on Sardinia from 1800 BCE to 238 BCE, known for over 7,000 circular stone towers Nuragi built with basalt precision. These structures, some towering 60 feet, served as forts, homes, or ritual sites, surrounded by villages with thatched huts and advanced bronze work. Sacred wells like Santa Cristina's aligned with equinoxes, hinting at a cosmology tied to water and stars. Trading with Mycenaeans and Phoenicians, they blended local and foreign influences until Roman rule absorbed them by the 3rd century BCE. Their silent towers, now UNESCO treasures, evoke a culture of resilience and quiet harmony with the land. Aksumite Kingdom, crossroads of faith. Rising around the 1st century CE in northern Ethiopia, the Aksumite Kingdom bridged Africa, the Middle East and India via its Red Sea port, Adulis. Trading ivory and gold, their cities featured towering stele granite obelisks marking royal tombs symbolizing power. Minting coins from the 3rd century, they showcased sovereignty, later bearing Christian crosses after King Ezana's 4th century conversion, one of the earliest state adoptions of Christianity. Agriculture thrived with terraced crops, yet by the 7th century, Islamic expansion and environmental strain faded their influence. Their legacy lives in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and standing stele, a quiet beacon of adaptation. Philistine cities, coastal innovators. Settling Canaan's coast around 1200 BCE amid the Bronze Age collapse, the Philistines linked to the Sea Peoples founded 5 city-states: Gaza, Ashkelon, Ashdod, Gath, and Ekron. Skilled in olive oil production and trade with Egypt and Phoenicia, their distinctive bichrome pottery evolved from Aegean roots. Their diet included pork, and they worshipped deities like Dagon, blending local and foreign rituals. Conquered by Assyrians and Babylonians by the 6th century BCE, their identity merged into the region, yet archaeology reveals a vibrant, adaptive society beyond biblical foes. Lycian Federation, cliff dwellers. The Lycians thrived in Anatolia's rugged coast from the 2nd millennium BCE, known for cliff-carved tombs resembling temples, honoring ancestors. A confederation of cities like Xanthos and Patara, they governed via the Lycian League, an early democratic model, resisting Hittite and Persian rule. Trading timber and wine, their art fused Greek and Near Eastern styles. Under Roman rule by the 1st century BCE, their league persisted, leaving a legacy of independence etched in stone and sea. Legacies of the ancients. A reimagined exploration of ancient civilizations, crafted to ensure originality while respecting copyright guidelines. Reflect on this journey and share your thoughts. Which culture captivates you most? Discover ancient echoes on Amazon for more vivid narratives with stunning visuals. Follow History Unveiled on Spotify or Apple, rate it, and share your insights at historyunveiled.net. Coming soon, more hidden stories and timeless enigmas. Thank you for joining us. Lycian Federation, Pioneers of Unity. The Lycians of Anatolia's rugged coast, thriving from the 2nd millennium BCE, maintained independence through a federation of cities like Xanthos and Patara, known as the Lycian League, an early democratic model that influenced modern governance, including elements of the US Constitution. Their cliff-carved tombs, resembling temples, honored ancestors, while trade in timber and wine connected them to Greece and Persia. Under Persian rule from the 6th century BCE, they retained autonomy and later welcomed Alexander the Great, preserving their identity. By the 1st century BCE, Roman integration brought theaters and aqueducts, gradually replacing Lycian language with Greek. Earthquakes and shifting trade routes led to decline by the early medieval period, but their tombs and democratic legacy endure, whispering of a cooperative spirit amidst empires. Etruscan civilization, foundations of Rome. The Etruscans flourished in central Italy from the 8th century BCE, evolving from the Villanovan culture into a network of city-states on defensible hills. Known for elaborate tombs with vibrant frescoes depicting banquets and games, they viewed the afterlife as a joyful continuation. Women held notable status, owning property and appearing alongside men in art, like the sarcophagus of the spouses. Skilled in bronze and pottery, their trade reached Greece and Phoenicia. Their gods Tinia, Uni, and Minerva later merged into Roman mythology, while practices like divination influenced Roman rituals. By the 6th century BCE, they dominated early Rome, contributing to its sewer systems and symbols of power. Roman expansion after 509 BCE led to their assimilation, but their cultural imprint on Rome's foundations endures. Tasmala culture, steppes of silence. The Tasmola culture thrived in Kazakhstan's steppes from the 7th to 3rd centuries BCE, part of the broader Sakha nomads. Known for elongated, blade-like burial mounds flanked by menhirs, their sites aligned with solstices, reflecting a celestial connection. Excavations reveal horse remains, bronze mirrors, and jewelry, suggesting a spiritual bond with nature. Living simply yet elegantly, they moved seasonally, leaving ceramics and tools that balanced utility and art. By the 3rd century BCE, their distinct burial practices faded as new groups like the Sarmatians emerged, blending Tasmola traditions into the region's evolving tapestry. Their standing stones still cast shadows, echoing a life of ritual and harmony. Ionian Celts, roots of lion. Before Roman lion, the Ionian Celts, possibly part of the Segusi tribe, settled at the Rhone and Saône confluence in the centuries before 43 BCE. Living in timber homes with thatched roofs, they farmed grains, raised cattle, and crafted swirling pottery and bronze torques, symbols of status. Their spirituality centered on nature, rivers, and groves were sacred, with druids guiding rituals tied to lunar cycles. Trade brought amber and wine, linking them to the Celtic world. Roman founding of Lugdunum in 43 BCE absorbed their settlements, blending traditions as Latin and Roman gods replaced local practices. Their legacy lingers in Lyon's landscape, a quiet foundation beneath the city's layers. Vincha culture, Danube pioneers. From 5700 BCE in the Balkans, the Vincha culture built planned settlements of wattle and daub homes along the Danube, supporting thousands with wheat, barley, and livestock. Their stylized figurines with almond eyes and undeciphered symbols on clay, possibly proto-writing, suggest a symbolic society, predating Sumerian script. Crafting copper tools and trading obsidian, they showed early innovation. By 4500 BCE, climate shifts and cultural blending with groups like the Tiza faded their distinct identity, leaving behind clay artifacts that whisper of a cooperative, creative society ahead of its time. Tiwanaku civilization, Andean visionaries. Emerging around 400 CE near Lake Titicaca in modern Bolivia, Tiwanaku grew from early settlements dating to 1500 BCE. At 13,000 feet, they built a sacred city with megalithic precision, aligning temples with stars and integrating Lake Titicaca into their cosmology. Farming quinoa and using canals, they thrived amidst the Andes' innovations. Their carved gates and stone foundations reflect a spiritual center that influenced the region before fading, leaving a legacy of celestial harmony in the high plains. Traces of ancient realms. A reimagined journey through ancient civilizations, crafted to ensure originality while respecting copyright guidelines. Reflect on this exploration. Which culture resonates with you? Discover Silent Histories on Amazon for more captivating tales with striking visuals. Follow Echoes of Time on Spotify or Apple, rate it, and share your insights at echoesoftime.net. Coming soon. More untold legacies and enduring mysteries. Thank you for joining us. Tiwanaku Civilization, Cosmic Architects. Rising around 400 CE near Lake Titicaca in modern Bolivia, Tiwanaku thrived at 13,000 feet, a sacred site many Andean cultures revered as the origin of the sun, moon, and humanity. Its builders aligned structures with solstices, courtyards with stars, and gateways with the sun's path, reflecting a worldview of heavens, earth, and underworld.
By 500 CE, it became a spiritual hub, drawing people from afar for rituals, offerings, and shared beliefs rather than conquest. Monolithic gateways, like the Gateway of the Sun, feature the creator god Viracocha, while motifs of condors and pumas adorned pottery and stone, uniting diverse regions.
Using raised fields called sucacolas, they grew quinoa and potatoes in a harsh climate, supporting a city of precise stonework, including the Acapana Pyramid and Kalasasaya Temple. Without a centralized military, Tiwanaku's influence spread through pilgrimage and cultural exchange until around 1000 CE, when droughts and shifting beliefs led to its gradual decline. Its legacy persists in Inca traditions and modern Andean communities, with ruins still evoking a sense of celestial harmony. Garamantian Kingdom, Desert Innovators. In southern Libya's Fezzan region, the Garamantes flourished from 500 BCE to 500 CE, transforming a drying Sahara into a thriving hub. Once a lush savanna, the region aridified by 3000 BCE. Yet they adapted by tapping fossil aquifers with Fogara's underground irrigation tunnels, cultivating dates, wheat, and grapes in artificial oases. Their capital, Garama, anchored a network of towns along caravan routes, linking sub-Saharan Africa with the Mediterranean, trading gold, ivory, and Roman glass. Mud brick homes, pottery, and stone tombs reflect a structured society of elites and workers, possibly using enslaved labor for fogaras. Roman accounts describe them as skilled charioteers, though they thrived more through diplomacy than war. By the 5th century CE, climate shifts and changing trade routes led to their decline, as fogaras dried and Garama faded into sand. Their ingenuity endures in the desert's silent ruins, a testament to life carved from adversity. Pictish society, stone carvers of the north. The Picts, thriving in northern Scotland from the 3rd to 9th centuries CE, lived beyond Hadrian's Wall, known to Romans as fierce yet elusive. Named Picti, painted ones, for possible tattooing, they were a loose confederation of tribes sharing customs and language. They farmed barley, raised livestock, and built brosh circular stone towers alongside roundhouses, blending resilience with artistry. Pictish symbol stones carved with crescents, serpents, and V-rods dot the landscape, their meanings debated as clan markers or proto-writing. Trading Roman glass and metal, they engaged with broader Europe while honoring nature through animistic beliefs, with sacred wells and standing stones. Christianity arrived in the 6th century, blending with older traditions as symbol stones gave way to crosses. By the 9th century, Gaelic influence and Norse raids merged their identity into the Kingdom of Alba, leaving behind a legacy of enigmatic carvings, and enduring place names like Aberdeen,